All right. Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Evil Ed 123 here yet again to talk about an upcoming project. That's right. There is something in the works that's going on, something I'm writing that I think you guys are going to like. Um, well, I'll just wait till the chat fills in and I'll get ready to talk to you. Is this thing tilted? Because I hope it isn't. Let me. Okay, there we go. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Why am I sub to you again? I don't know. Hey, Rising, how's it going? Yeah, I don't know why you're sub to me again. I have no idea. Are you just messing with me at this point? Oh, that's good, Rising. That's good. Yeah, glad you're able to catch a stream because I'm getting pizza. Oh, what kind of pizza? It depends what kind. Because pizza's always good. My go-to is Meat Lovers. Meat Lovers pizza all the way for me. No clue yet. I got you. Oh, but Rising, I do have some good news for you guys. Remember mushrooms on pizza though? I don't know, not really big on mushrooms, but eh, it depends. Like not too much. But yes, I have some good news. I'm not sure if you remember, but in one of my live streams a while back, I think a couple days back, almost a week back, I talked about a potential, idea for a Halloween sequel in the pool. Oh, okay. Mushrooms. Well, good news is I'm writing the first draft. I'm almost finished with the first draft of the script. Um, I'm probably going to tweak it, here and there, probably add some things, take some things out, but so far it's just the early draft. All right. Now the title of the script, it's this is a working title, is called Halloween Last Bloodline. Now, in this movie, the timeline that's established here takes place after Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers. During the whole Thorn timeline, the whole, because I feel like Curse of Michael Myers is an underrated movie. The theatrical cut I absolutely loved. The producer's cut is okay. I mean, I'm kind of iffy about it with some decisions in there, but overall, I still think the movie is underrated. Fan fiction, yeah. Well, I guess you could say fan fiction. I guess you could say that what I'm working on is a fan made, project. It's going to be a fan film, hopefully. But the story is called The Last Bloodline. Now, this takes place, in I don't necessarily give a set date, but you get the idea. It takes place a considerable amount of time after the end of Curse of Michael Myers, where Michael Myers is back and he's going after his nephew, which is Stephen Myers, the last of the bloodline. And in the story, the grandson of Dr. Sam Loomis is after Michael, but only slash fiction counts as fan fiction. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it does. But the story basically goes like that. It's about Michael Myers going after his nephew, and the grandson of Dr. Sam Loomis is after to stop him. So it's very reminiscent to the first Halloween, and there's a lot of Easter eggs in this movie, or in the story that I'm writing, that echo back to the previous Halloween movies and also other horror films in general, like that reflect my taste in horror movies, like my favorite horror movies, like Evil Dead 2, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, uh, Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. There's a couple references to Season of the Witch in this movie. But yeah, the project is going well. I actually started writing it about the other day. All right, catch you later. I actually started writing it the other day, or day before yesterday, actually. I wrote it day before yesterday. I'm still writing it, and then I wrote more of it at night, and now I'm writing the ending scene, which there are going to be two possible endings. I don't want to give away too much about what's going to happen in the movie, because I still want to keep that under wraps. I'll probably do some behind the scenes shooting of it once I have everything finalized and I have the script all mapped out. I have what I want to do, all figured out, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Um, and there's going to be some risks that are going to happen with the movie. Like I'm taking some creative, license with this. Like this is something I want to ask you guys. How would you feel if Michael talked in the movie? It's just something I'm throwing out there. I'm not saying it's a for sure thing, but how would you feel if he talked? No. Okay. Like I said, it's not a for sure thing. It's just something I'm kind of playing with the idea of. But there are at least 2 to 3 possible endings. Needs to be nonverbal. Now I always like that because there's supposed to be like this whole kind of void, like you can't communicate with him. Like it's basically like he's this force to be reckoned with. And one of the things that I'm writing in the script is I'm bringing back the cult of Thorn involved because one of the things I liked in the theatrical cut of the movie is when the Call of Thorn shows up, they believe they can control him, that they can, control Michael. But Michael at the end shows like, no, no one can control me. I'm a force to be reckoned with. Because I love that scene in the theatrical cut whenever he kills the Call of Thorn. Yeah, and that's the thing. The mask is going to be shifting a lot in this movie too. Like, one of the biggest things is for this movie is even though he's after Stephen Myers, his nephew, Stephen Myers and Michael, or the Shape as I refer to him in the script, because he's always going to be the Shape. He, they aren't the main focus. The attention is actually drawn to more of Dr. Sam Loomis's grandson, of this character, because I always love Sam Loomis in the Halloween films because Sam Loomis is the Van Helsing, who's taking down the monster, which is Michael Myers. With this characterization of his grandson, it's slightly different. It's not so much Van Helsing. It's someone that, because one of the things that I'm establishing in this timeline, because one of the things that was never exactly made clear in the theatrical cut of Halloween 6 was what happened to Sam Loomis. I mean, it's implied that maybe Michael killed him, but we never know for certain. So his fate, Dr. Sam Loomis's fate is revealed in this movie, and this paves the motivation for Loomis's grandson to, have this obsession with Michael as well, to have this obsession with the Shape, to stop him. But yeah, the upcoming project. Like I said, so far the working title is Last Bloodline because I still want to go for the idea that there's this force that causes Michael to, to kill, his family or kill his bloodline. But also there's going to be a little surprise thrown in here that's also going to change the lore of the Halloween films. So that way, Michael's not just limited anymore. Like he's like unplugged, like he's unhinged to be stuck to one drive. But if you guys have any thoughts or ideas as to what you would like to see happen in the Halloween series, in particular this one, because the thing is, my favorite Halloween movies are as follows. The first one, of course, Halloween 2, Halloween 4, Halloween 6. With actually the new Halloween, the Halloween 2018 is actually right up there next to Halloween 2. It's actually, this is how it really goes. Halloween 2018, Halloween the 2007 Rob Zombie remake, because I do think that movie's decent. I do enjoy that. Halloween 4, and Halloween 6. Those are like my favorite ones in the series. But yeah, I'm working on the script. I'm still writing it. It's like I said, still roughly it's the first draft, so nothing is for sure. Nothing is like permanent. Like okay, this is what's going to happen. This is how it's going to go. There's going to be a lot of changes, a lot of probably some some edits and little just fine tuning. And this is a question I'd like to ask you guys. Are you still there, Rising? Please tell me you're still there. But the question I'd like to ask you guys is, would you like to see more of the suspense or more of the gore? Because, okay, cool. This is the thing that I always loved about the Halloween series is that the movies are not overly gory. That it's more about the suspense of the characters, more about the suspense and the overall atmosphere that it feels like Halloween, like it puts you in the Halloween season, like puts you in the Halloween mood. So my question for you guys is, do you want the gore level to be up to like 100, or do you want it to be like skewed down to believable levels? Because that's another thing I'm struggling with as far as writing the script, as far as to where the level should be. And another thing about this, even though I'm thinking too far ahead, is casting. Because I, I got a few ideas in mind of who I want the shape, who I want to play the shape, and who I want Loomis's grandson to be, who I want that part to belong to. Okay. But yeah, suspense is going to play a big part of this. Dang it. Itchy. I'm getting eaten by bugs out here. Probably move this inside for a little bit. I just wanted to talk to you guys for a little bit. Yeah, and there's two possible endings. Now, there's one ending I can definitely tell you about because I'm not going to film it. It's not going to happen. But this was something that kind of crept into my head where I thought this would be really interesting, but I think it would be completely out there, crazy, into territory of almost Nightmare on Elm Street kind of deal. Where at the end of the movie, there's going to be this confrontation. This was an idea I had. I had it written down, but I looked at it and I thought, no, this isn't going to work. This is changing way too much and is going into outlandish territory. Where at the end, Michael is getting taken down by Loomis's grandson, and right when Loomis's grandson, he actually has a shotgun, like double-barreled shotgun, shoots Michael or the shape straight in the face, head explodes. But then, this is what happens. You see this black, like liquid type of smoke emerge, and like it wisp away and go straight into almost like supernatural style, like whenever there's the demon possession, straight into Loomis's great grandson's mouth, and then flashes forward to a year later, and you see Loomis's grandson, wearing these coveralls like Michael wears, and you see like right next to him is the mask, and he puts it on, and the camera zooms in on his eyes. Yeah, too expensive, yeah. Well, not just that, but also I just think the idea is weird because one of the things I love about the series is there's always that question of whether or not Michael is, just this normal guy, or if he is supernatural, or if he is like this supernatural being, and that thing's always been played around with. Like even when Sam Loomis was around, because he believed Michael was more than a man. He believed he was something, stronger than that, like something that's not human anymore. But it was never fully established. Like it was never like made certain. Like there's characters that are made certain, like Jason Voorhees. It's like, yeah, this is a supernatural dude. But with Michael, it's always been the idea like, no, maybe it's not, maybe it isn't. Um, but I thought that ending, I remember I wrote it down and I was just like, no, 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 this is going way into too much supernatural territory. I don't want to necessarily do that. The other two endings I'm writing are more grounded and more that kind of still leave the lore to be explored. Still leaves like questions and possibly room for a possible sequel if I wanted to do one. If I wanted to continue on with the Thorn timeline. That's why I'm calling this timeline the Thorn timeline, because this is the thing that was interesting. Whenever Halloween 5 was being filmed and made, there was those scenes where the dude in the black trench coat and the cowboy hat and the steel toed boots. Oh wait, hold on, let me say it again. It went by too fast. Crack the mask, pan out to reveal it's a mirror, end it with blood dripping from the protagonist's mouth. Oh, that's a solid idea. I do like that idea. But like I said, I'm still working on a couple different ideas. But here's the thing that was interesting. Whenever Halloween 5 and they did the whole thing with the dude in the black trench coat that busts Michael out of the prison, this thing that was interesting. When Halloween 6 was being made, they had no idea that they were going to do the Thorn thing. And the Thorn thing was added in later, to make sense of the whole Thorn call, because the writer even said when he was writing Halloween 5, he said he just added that character in there to make the movie more interesting. Like he said he had no idea where he was going with it either. They just like, yeah, I wanted to make the movie more interesting, so I just add this. Like he had no backstory, nothing. He just threw this guy in there, and this led into this poor writer for Halloween 6 to come up with something, to come up with like a reason and an answer, and he's just like, I don't know, man, I don't know. Like he was lost, and I'm like, oh, dude, I feel your pain. But I still think the Celtic stuff, like the Gaelic, the going back to that and going to Season of the Witch territory, I still love to explore that and to explore Samhain, in the movies, because I think Samhain would be a pretty interesting topic to explore. But I'm not sure if it will be the right move to go for the movie I want to make. Because I want to make something that feels like a slasher movie, that feels like it's going back to the slasher genre, but it's also going back to what makes horror great. Like it's going back to what makes horror, unique. Is the scare factor, is the atmosphere, the tone. That's what I want to go shoot for this movie. Because horror is such a very tricky thing to do. Because the whole thing with horror, people say the same thing as comedy. Comedy is harder to do too, because what's funny to you might not be what's funny to me, and what's scary to you, or what's not scary to you might be scary to me. So it's like all subjective. So with this one, it's me trying to figure out, okay, what is something that will scare me, but also that would freak out the audience, or something that would might not scare me, might freak out the audience. So it's like trying to find that right balance. And really, I wanted to continue I like I mentioned before, I wanted to continue the Curse of Michael Myers story arc, because to me that's a very interesting arc. And it's the thing. Someone actually made the statement, like with the train wreck that is Halloween 8 Resurrection with Buster Rhymes. That movie's left open if they want to continue that timeline with to do an actual Halloween 9. They can. They don't have to mention Buster Rhymes or any of the other guys. They can just completely skip over that. And yes, the only thing different in that timeline is Laurie Strode is dead. But I mean, that's perfectly okay. I mean, you don't need her. And give Michael a different force, because when they were doing this, John Carpenter, he added that into the script when he did Halloween 2. That's like, oh, it's his sister. That was it. That was just something he was like, oh, that's probably. But I love more that this is a guy that's just so forced, that has this, drive to kill. Like, he's not after anybody in particular. And this is going to be a big reveal and a big revelation in my movie, Michael's true motives. Because you think it's one thing, but it turns out to be something completely different. Which I hope you guys enjoyed that little twist I'm doing on this story, because it is going to be very unique. And I want to say I would love to act in this movie, but for me, I feel like I might have to step back and just be writer, director, and producer, and just focus more on that. Focus more on the filming. Focus more doing behind the camera, and doing all that stuff rather than acting in front of the camera. Because as much as I love acting and love being in front of the camera, like with you guys, I feel like for this particular story, I really want to focus on creating the universe, creating, like, okay, this is what's going to happen. This is how this is going to go. And let the actual actors be like, okay, go. So, yeah. Depending on, if I write a second draft, I'll probably post a link for you guys to read the first draft of the script, so you can check it out to see what you make of it. Like I said, I might do that. I might not. Like I said, it just depends on how much I like this draft and if there's something I want to change with it. But as of right now, nothing's made clear, and who knows? Maybe this could be like a contest giveaway. Whenever the movie's finished, who wants a copy of the script? Who wants a copy of the Halloween script to this fan project? And here's another question: if I had like a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe or like one of those crowdfunding pages for this movie, would you guys donate to it? Because I started the whole donation thing. Like, here's the thing: if you want to donate to make this project a reality, there's a link to the donation site that's going to go, that usually goes towards the channel. This is going to go towards this movie too. It's going to go towards making this movie possible. So if you guys really want to see this become a reality as much as I do, any little bit helps. Link to the donation is in the description of this video. It's in the description of this live stream, I believe, and you guys can, if you want to, you can. But yeah, right now I am actually going to end the stream because I'm getting eaten up by bugs here. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say, and wanted to let you guys know that that's what I'm working on. But till then, I'll catch you later. And if you guys, like I said, if you guys want to see this thing become a reality, link to the donation in the description. And yeah, hopefully we can see a Halloween movie at some point next year. Anyway, I'll